All right, guys, this is section 2.5, vertical angles and linear pairs. You already know the definition and what the angles look like. Now we're going to discover a property. Now the property, though, you kind of do know about linear pairs already because we worked with a protractor already. So you do know that linear pairs are supplementary. So we're just going to show proof right now. So we're kind of going to do a little bit of deductive reasoning. And then same thing goes for vertical angles. You probably know that the property of vertical angles, you probably know it already, so we're going to just show proof. So draw a pair of intersecting lines with your ruler, and then it says measure all four angles. So we're going to measure all four angles with the protractor. Okay, like I said, this is an easy lesson, so it shouldn't be too difficult. And it looks as though it is right there on the 0. So over here on this angle, if you count from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, it goes up to about 48. And then if I go over here, oh, that's not even on the 0. That would be 0, 10, 20, all the way 132. Okay, so I have those two angles. So let's write those down. So this one was 48. And this one was 132. And when you add those up, remember, this is a linear pair right here. This angle with this angle, that's a linear pair. And so 48 plus 132 is 180. So anytime you see two angles that form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. And like I said, we already pretty much discovered that when we were doing the definition of linear pairs, but now we're just going to show proof again using this protractor. So now let's measure the other two angles. So when we measure these other two angles, you can probably guess what is going to happen here. And there we go again. It's at 48 degrees and then 132. So this one over here is 48 and 132. And so if you remember, this angle and this angle are vertical angles. This angle with this angle is another pair of vertical angles, and you really see that they are congruent. And that's it. It's pretty simple. Okay, so if you ever have two vertical angles, then they are congruent. Okay, so let's just do a couple of examples here. We're going to find the measures of these angles. So we are given 5x right here, and then we're given this is x plus 16. So all you have to do is do 5x, not plus, equals, because remember vertical angles are congruent now, equals this, and so I'm going to minus x from both sides. We're going to keep that algebra fresh in your head. 4x equals 16, divide by 4, x equals 4. So now I'm going to plug it back in. So 4 goes into here. So that means this is 20 degrees. So guys, it clearly looks like it's an obtuse angle. However, you just go with the math. It's just not drawn to scale at all. Okay. What is the measure of these other angles? Well, these two are always supplementary, right? So that means this angle over here, 180 minus 20 degrees is 160. So it looks as though they should be flip-flopped, but do not switch them, okay? Because according to the algebra right here, all of these steps, x equals 4, and therefore it's like that. So if you want to redraw it, you can redraw it to look like that, okay? Let's look at this one over here, 7x plus 10 and 3x. Obviously, those are a linear pair, so we want to add those two and set them equal to 180 because they are supplementary. So we have 10x plus 10 equals 180, minus 10 from both sides. So 10x equals 170, divide by 10, and x equals 17. So when we plug 17 in over here, 17 times 3 is 51 degrees. So this angle is 51 degrees. And so this angle over here must be 180 minus 51 is 129. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, it's as simple as that. Over here, we're doing the same thing. You should know the measure of this angle right here because this one and this one are a linear pair. So this one is going to be 140 degrees. Remember, vertical angles are also 40, congruent. So this one over here is also 40. And then up here, this one is 140. So we solve for all the angles. Now we just need to solve for X and Y. Okay, X and Y, I forgot to write that in there. So we're going to set 4X plus 4 equal to 40. Subtract 4. We get 4X equals 36. Divide by 4. And X equals 9. All right, so now we're going to plug that in. So we solve for X, and we're going to plug that in over here to solve for the Y. Okay, so I'm going to use that equation. So 3 times 9 plus 2Y equals 140. So I know this is 27 plus 2Y equals 140 minus 27 from both sides. 2Y equals 113. I think that's right, 120. Yes, 113. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals 56.5. All right, so there's your Y, there's your X, and you know the measure of every angle because linear pairs and vertical angles are super easy to work with. They're congruent or supplementary. Okay, and that is it. Easy lesson. So hopefully it should